Imagine waking up tomorrow feeling completely free. No regrets, no silent fears pulling you down. Most people never feel this. They wake up already losing a battle they didn't even know they were fighting. Each morning, when you open your eyes, you stand at a doorway. But instead of stepping into peace, most carry yesterday's burdens like old clothes that no longer fit. Before their feet touch the floor, their mind is clouded with doubt, fear, and silent pressures, making the day feel heavy, like trying to see sunrise through a cracked mirror. Buddha said, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." These quiet thoughts shape who you become before you even brush your teeth. This isn't just another list of quotes. It's a spiritual toolkit forged from timeless Buddhist wisdom to silence your inner critic, anchor your spirit, and break the silent cycles of anxiety before the world demands your attention. Have you ever wondered why some mornings feel like war and others like peace? Today, you'll find out. These 10 teachings will shift your identity, rebuild your inner dialogue, and rewrite the story you've been living, often without realizing it. Stay until the end, because one of these lessons will challenge everything you believe about strength. And I will share a bonus teaching monks whisper before dawn. It might just set you free. Before we begin, write in the comments, "I will win my morning." This single declaration carries a truth that can transform your life. Because remember, win your morning and you will win your life. Lesson 1. Each morning is a sacred rebirth, not merely another day. There is a moment before the world awakens fully, a quiet space between sleep and movement, where everything feels untouched. But most of us never notice it. We open our eyes and immediately reach for our phones, scroll through messages, check what we've missed, and remember all that we have to do. As if life were a fire we must constantly keep feeding. But pause for a breath here. Why do we enter the day as if it were an emergency to solve, rather than a blessing to honor? Buddha reminded us, with each new dawn, we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. This is not simply a poetic phrase to feel comforted by. It is a truth to live by. It means no matter how restless or painful yesterday was, today offers a silent invitation to begin again, a chance to return to the simplicity of being. Imagine a monk at sunrise, sweeping the stone paths of a silent temple courtyard. They do not sweep only to clean away dust, but to clear a sacred space within themselves. In the same way, your first thoughts in the morning sweep the path of your mind for the day ahead. If you begin with fear or regret, your steps will feel heavy and uncertain. But if you begin with presence and honor, your entire day moves with calm grace. Instead of whispering to yourself, "I have so much to do," begin with, "I am here." Let these words become your vow, not to do everything perfectly, but to be fully alive for each moment as it arrives. Most people wake up carrying the burdens of yesterday, old arguments, regrets, unspoken fears, into a morning that has not yet judged them. This is not life. This is spiritual debt, accumulated day by day. Ask yourself right now, what weight am I still carrying into this dawn? Imagine for a moment that you could simply release it. Not solve it, not fight it, just set it down. Feel how your chest softens, how your breath becomes lighter. You do not need a flawless plan to start your day well. You simply need a conscious beginning. A reminder that today is not an obligation, but a sacred gift. Say these words quietly to yourself. Today is a sacred beginning. Speak them not as another task on your list, but as a prayer. Let these words weave into your mornings until they become the gentle rhythm of your life. Do not simply wake up, awaken. Do not merely move through your tasks. Be moved by the miracle of being alive. Do not survive this Monday as if it were just another hurdle. Honor it as the quiet miracle it is. Because in this noisy, restless world, presence is the rarest and most powerful form of discipline. So here is your gentle invitation. Write these words down. Whisper them as you rise. Feel them settle into your heart like still water in a deep well. Let them guide your thoughts and choices today. Before you give your attention to the demands of the world, give your heart to this simple truth. You are alive. You are here. This is your sacred rebirth. Because the words you speak to yourself at dawn become the reality you walk through by nightfall. Lesson 2. Within you lives a quiet warrior, even if you do not feel their presence today. If someone told you that deep within your chest lives a warrior, would you believe them? Not a warrior clothed in steel and shouting into battle, but one draped in silence, carrying an unbreakable resilience in their spine and a steady flame in their heart. Too often, we mistake our moments of doubt for absolute truths. We whisper to ourselves, "I don't feel strong today, so I must not be strong." But the Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. You do not have to feel powerful to begin your journey. You only need to begin, and your power will awaken along the path. There will be mornings when your reflection shows only tired eyes and a weary spirit. On such days, life feels less like a wondrous journey and more like a weight pressing upon your shoulders. In these moments, it is easy to shrink into smallness, believing stories that limit who you are. But remember this, your potential does not vanish because your heart feels heavy. Think of a great mountain hidden beneath a blanket of mist. Its peaks still rise boldly above the earth, even if the clouds hide its majesty. That is your strength. Even when self-doubt clouds your vision, the mountain of your spirit remains untouched, waiting for the fog to clear. True power does not come from never feeling fear. It comes from choosing to take a single step forward, despite it. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel your spine lengthen. Whisper softly to yourself, "I trust in the strength that lives within me." Not because you have proven it to others, but because it exists, patiently waiting for your remembrance. Every courageous act was once born from uncertainty. Every masterpiece you admire began in the trembling hands of someone who doubted their worth. You are not behind. You are simply standing on the silent edge of a moment that holds the potential to change everything. Ask yourself gently, what small action can I take today that my future self will bow to with gratitude? It might be finding the courage to speak your truth, even if your voice quivers. It might be stepping towards an opportunity your fear told you to avoid. Or perhaps it is as simple as rising from your bed with intention, rather than drifting through autopilot. Remember this, progress is rarely made through grand leaps. It is built through quiet whispers within your mind that say, "I will try. I will keep going. I will not give up today." Confidence is not a gate you must pass through before you act. It is the light that grows behind you with every uncertain step you take forward. You do not need to feel like a warrior to walk the path of one. You simply need to trust that the silent warrior within you exists, even if today their voice is soft. Your mind is not a mirror reflecting only what you are now. It is a sacred tool, shaping who you can become. When you feed it doubt, it limits your world. When you feed it faith, it expands your destiny. So tomorrow morning, and each dawn that follows, let these words rise with the sun within you. I am capable of extraordinary things, even if I do not feel it yet. Let this be your inner shield, your morning prayer, your sacred vow to life. And know this, there will come a day when you look back upon these foggy mornings, these moments of trembling doubt, and realize they were not signs of weakness. They were the silent beginnings of a strength so deep, it was like learning to climb the invisible mountain that had always lived within you. Lesson 3. My thoughts are my companions, not my masters. If your mind were like a powerful horse, ask yourself honestly, are you its calm rider, guiding its steps with gentle wisdom? Or are you being dragged helplessly across rough lands, tangled in its reins? This is a question few people pause to consider. Yet within it lies a truth that can transform your entire life. You are not your thoughts, and they do not control you. You hold the reins. Most people move through their days like silent passengers inside their own minds, never realizing they hold the power to steer. But the Buddha taught, to rule your mind is to find liberation. To let it rule you is to remain in bondage. We often blame the outside world for our restlessness, fear, or anxiety. But the truth is, much of that storm is born within. An untamed mind creates an untamed life. You already know this feeling, the racing worries, the endless spirals of what if, the stories your mind writes that keep your spirit tied in knots. But a trained mind becomes your greatest companion. Like a still lake reflecting the moon, it holds the chaos of life within a calm, clear presence. Not because life's winds stop blowing, but because your inner world no longer trembles with every breeze. Imagine your mind as a small, flickering candle in the night. If left unguarded in the wind, the flame trembles wildly or dies. But when you cup your hands around it, holding it with care and awareness, that same flame becomes a steady source of warmth and gentle light. This is the essence of mindfulness. It is not about forcing silence upon your thoughts, nor about fighting each one into submission. It is about sitting quietly, watching them rise and fall like clouds drifting across a vast sky, knowing you are the sky, not the passing weather. Try this now. Notice a single troubling thought within you. Instead of resisting it, smile gently at it. Watch it float by without following where it wishes to take you. This small shift, choosing awareness over reaction, is where true peace begins. Remember, you do not have to believe every story your mind writes. Not every thought is worthy of your attention. You can watch them come and go, choosing which ones nourish your spirit, and letting the others drift away like autumn leaves upon a quiet stream. Ask yourself softly, what thought have I allowed to rule me for too long? Perhaps it is the belief that you are not enough, that life will not change, that you are somehow behind. These are not truths. They are habits of thinking, and habits can be unlearned gently and patiently, with compassionate awareness. Each dawn brings you a choice, to walk beside your thoughts as their master, or to let them carry you away as their captive. Whisper to yourself upon waking, my thoughts are my companions, not my masters. Let this truth become your silent armor, not to shield yourself from thinking, but to guide your mind with quiet clarity. For the more you train your awareness, the more peace blooms within you. The world may remain noisy, but your spirit will move like a monk walking calmly through a bustling market, untouched at its core. The goal is not to erase thought. The goal is to see it clearly, without attachment, without fear. True freedom is not found in escaping life's duties. True freedom is found in escaping the invisible prison built by unguarded thoughts. Train your mind with kindness and presence, and slowly, like a wild horse learning the calm touch of its rider, life itself will begin to move with you, rather than against you. Lesson 4. You are worthy of peace, happiness, and success simply because you exist. What if you stopped thinking of self-love as something to earn? What if, instead of striving to prove your worth each day, you chose to remember it? Every morning, before the world tells you who to be. Most people wake with a silent heaviness in their chest. Before the sun has fully risen, they already feel they are not enough. They carry the belief that happiness must be purchased through perfection, that peace is only allowed once everything is under their control. But there is a gentler truth, a truth powerful enough to break these hidden chains. You deserve peace. You deserve happiness. You deserve success, simply because you are here, not because of your achievements or your failures, not because of your body's shape or your bank account's numbers, but because your very existence is a quiet miracle. Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and affection. Yet somewhere along the way, we learn to treat our worth as a reward, something granted only when we are useful, flawless, or endlessly giving. This belief is its own form of suffering, for when you think love must be earned, you spend your life performing for it, never truly resting in it. Consider this. Even when the moon is hidden behind thick clouds, it does not lose its light. Your worth is like that moon. Its glow is never lost. It only disappears from view when the sky of your mind becomes crowded with self-doubt. Take a slow breath now. Gently place your hand upon your heart and whisper, "I deserve to be happy today." Do not wait for external validation. Do not wait for the perfect moment, the perfect body, or the perfect relationship. Say it now, because true healing begins the moment you choose to believe in your worth without needing proof. You were never born to chase your value like a wanderer searching for home. You are the home. You are the gold hidden beneath the rubble of old stories, judgments, and inherited fears. Ask yourself softly, what old story keeps me feeling unworthy? Perhaps it is a voice that tells you you're broken beyond repair, that you're too late to change, that you must remain small to be loved. Remember, these are not truths. They are echoes of past pain. And pain is not your identity. It is only a place you once visited. It does not need to become your home. Each morning, let this become your new prayer. I am worthy, not because of what I achieve, but because I exist. Let these words guide how you speak to yourself, soften your inner dialogue, and shape the way you stand in your own silent presence. For when you believe you deserve peace, you no longer settle for chaos disguised as normal. When you believe you deserve happiness, you stop tolerating silent misery. And when you believe you deserve success, you no longer shrink from the light of your own potential. You do not need to earn your worth. You only need to recognize it. The sun rises without asking for permission. The tree grows without apologizing for its height. In the same way, you do not need to justify your existence to anyone, not even to yourself. The words you choose each morning become the foundation upon which your life is built. So choose them with gentleness and courage. Whisper them into your heart as you rise. I deserve peace. I deserve happiness. I deserve success simply because I am here, and that is enough. Lesson 5. I choose to take action today, even if it is small and silent. Can the smallest step truly shift the entire course of your life? We often wait. We wait for the perfect moment, the flawless plan, the feeling of confidence to wash over us before we begin. But in this endless waiting, life quietly slips past, like morning mist vanishing under the rising sun. Buddhist wisdom teaches, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It does not begin with a great leap or a grand announcement to the world. It begins with one humble, conscious step forward. Transformation is not born from intense motion. It is born from the gentle decision to begin, here and now. Many confuse clarity with readiness. They say, I cannot act until I am sure. But clarity rarely arrives before movement. Clarity emerges through movement. Like a path appearing only as your feet touch the ground, each small step reveals the next. Imagine a single drop of rain. It seems insignificant alone, yet it carries the silent power to begin a river. In the same way, your smallest choice today holds the power to redirect your life's current. It is not about doing everything. It is about doing something. Something intentional, however small. For when you take even a single step, life feels your movement and responds, not to your excuses, but to your energy. Picture a stone lying still upon the forest floor, gathering only dust and shadows. But even the tiniest pebble, when set in motion, creates ripples across still waters. These ripples awaken the pond. That is how your small steps awaken your silent strength. You do not need to rebuild your entire world today. You only need to stop postponing the one small action your peace has been quietly asking for. Ask yourself with honesty, what am I delaying that my inner peace depends on? Perhaps it is a conversation long avoided, a small daily habit that nourishes your health, a decision you keep pushing aside out of silent fear. Each delay weighs upon your spirit, growing heavier with every sunrise. Today, choose to take one small step, just one. Let it be gentle and real. Drink a glass of water mindfully, feeling each sip nourish your being. Stand and stretch your body with gratitude. Clean a single drawer to create space. Walk outside and feel the morning air upon your skin. Place your hand upon your heart and whisper softly, "I begin now." Let this quiet act become your silent revolution. Discipline is not born from harsh force or loud declarations. It is born from presence, from showing up again and again until effort becomes rhythm and rhythm becomes transformation. People believe motivation fuels action, but in truth, action is what ignites motivation. With each small step, momentum gathers behind you like wind filling the sails of a silent boat upon vast waters. You do not need to feel brave before you move. You do not need all the answers before you begin. You only need to decide that inaction will no longer define your identity. Each time you choose movement over hesitation, you reclaim a little more of your life's sacred power. So tomorrow morning, and each dawn that follows, let these words rise within you like a prayer. I choose to take action today, even if it is small. Let it become your compass, your mantra, your silent anchor. Because great changes are never born from great leaps alone. They begin as a quiet shift in mindset, a decision to step forward with peace. And when you choose this small step, the rest of your life begins to move with it. Remember, a single drop begins a river. A single step begins your return home to yourself. Lesson 6. The words I speak at dawn shape the world I walk through. Ask yourself softly, is the voice you wake up to lifting you into the day, or quietly cutting wounds that you carry unseen? The first words you whisper into the silence of dawn are not mere sounds. They are seeds. And whatever you plant in those fragile early moments blooms into the hours that follow. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that right speech begins not with what we say to others, but with what we say to ourselves. Your morning words shape your entire day, not because they hold magic spells, but because they give your mind its first direction. They tell your spirit what to focus upon, what to expect, and what kind of day it is allowed to create. Words are like both seeds and swords. They can heal or they can harm. And the words you speak to yourself before the world begins to speak back are the most powerful of all. Consider this truth. When you wake and your first thought is, "I'm so tired, I'm already behind," today will be hard, your body hears. Your heart contracts. Your energy folds into itself like a closing flower. But when you rise with intention, whispering even the simplest words, "I am here. I am calm. This moment matters," your entire being begins to move with quiet grace. You do not need loud declarations to begin your day well. You need words that are honest, words that align your spirit with peace rather than pressure. Imagine the incense burning in a silent temple at dawn. It does not shout its fragrance, yet it fills every hidden corner with presence. Your morning words are like that. They either scent your day with clarity or cloud it with confusion. Choose your words as you would choose what to place upon an altar. They will linger long after you have spoken them. You may not control all that this day brings, but you do control how you greet it. And often, the way you begin shapes the way it ends. Try this tomorrow. As you sit in stillness or sip your tea, whisper a phrase of gentle strength. Something that does not demand perfection from you, but simply reminds you of who you are beneath all roles and worries. I am here. I am enough. I choose peace. Say these words not to impress the world, but to soothe your spirit. Speak to yourself as you would to a beloved friend waking from a restless night. With tenderness, with quiet truth. Ask yourself with sincerity, what is the most peaceful sentence I can offer my heart each morning? Let this become your mantra. Write it upon a note by your bedside. Carry it in your breath. Let it weave through the rhythm of your day. Too often, we rise and amoor ourselves with urgency, entering the morning like warriors into battle, fighting the clock, fighting ourselves. But you do not need to conquer your mornings. You need to receive them. The words you choose are the gatekeepers to this sacred receiving. So tomorrow, when your eyes open to the first light, do not reach for your phone. Reach for your center. Speak words that are rooted like ancient trees. Words that hold your trembling heart in gentle hands. Because how you speak to yourself in the first quiet minutes sets the emotional rhythm of everything that follows. Your words are not empty echoes. They are silent instructions. They lead your thoughts, your breath, your posture, your attention. So lead yourself with intention. Lead yourself gently, yet powerfully. And let this become your vow at dawn. The words I speak at sunrise shape the world I walk through today. Choose them with reverence, for in more ways than you know, your life flows from their silent power. Lesson 7. My mind becomes what I repeatedly tell it. Have you ever wondered if your mind works against you, not because it is flawed, but because it has been quietly trained by your own repetition to doubt, to fear, to shrink away from its true vastness? Few realize this hidden truth. Your mind becomes what you repeatedly tell it. This is not just positive thinking or spiritual comfort. It is a deep neurological reality woven into your very being. The stories you whisper to yourself each morning, whether spoken aloud or kept silently within, become the blueprint upon which your mind shapes the day ahead. As the ancient wisdom says, what you think, you become. If your repeated thoughts are rooted in fear or limitation, your life quietly molds itself to fit that smallness. But the opposite is also true, and in this truth lies your greatest power. We often think repetition makes words meaningless, like a song played too often that loses its beauty. But in Buddhist practice, repetition is sacred. Mantras are not repeated to numb the mind, but to awaken it. Each repetition is like clearing a path through a dense forest. With every step, the way becomes clearer and easier to walk. Your mind is not stubborn, it is obedient. It believes what it is taught, with quiet devotion. So ask yourself honestly, what have I been teaching my mind without even realizing it? See your mind as fertile soil. It does not judge the seeds you plant. It simply grows what it is given. Plant seeds of criticism, and it grows forests of insecurity. Plant seeds of fear, and it grows tangled vines of avoidance. But plant trust, and it grows strong trees of confidence. Plant peace, and it blossoms into calm, silent lakes within you. This is the quiet miracle of thought. It roots itself before you even notice it has landed. And by the time you realize, it has already begun shaping your reality. Today, choose one gentle, empowering phrase, something that affirms your strength, your calm, your purpose. Something like, I am grounded in who I am. Write it down with intention. Read it aloud 3 times, not to convince the world of your worth, but to remind your own spirit of its truth. Let this phrase echo louder than the old habits that have lived too long within you. Because repetition is not weakness, it is reprogramming. Ask yourself softly, what phrase have I been repeating that has secretly shaped my identity? Perhaps it is, I always fail, or I can't change. These thoughts may have begun as passing fears, but repeated day after day, they hardened into beliefs. And beliefs shape behavior, which shapes life. Here is the good news. You can rewrite your inner code. You can choose a new truth and repeat it, patiently and intentionally, until your mind begins to build a new life around it. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about nourishing the inner garden of your being with what it has been quietly craving all along. Like water carving stone, your repeated words will begin to create new grooves within. Grooves of clarity, presence, and unshakable self-trust. So tomorrow morning, guard your mind with kindness. Do not let it default to the tired scripts of yesterday. Take the reins with quiet courage. Speak something new, speak something true. Repeat it softly, again and again, until your mind stops resisting and begins responding with faith. Because repetition is not weakness. It is the sacred method by which you become who you truly are. Speak with wisdom, rehearse your truth, rewire your path with each dawn. And remember, what you say once may inspire, but what you say daily, that transforms your life. Lesson 8. Silence the inner critic before it finds its voice. Ask yourself gently each dawn, who speaks first within me, my soul or my critic? There is a quiet voice that awakens with you, often before your eyes have fully opened or your breath has deepened into morning calm. It whispers words you would never speak to a beloved friend. You're already behind. You should have done more. You're not enough. Know this deeply. That voice is not truth. It is habit. It is the lingering echo of years spent in comparison, perfectionism, and hidden self-rejection. But here is your shift. Silence the inner critic before it finds its voice. Because peace does not begin with motivation or productivity. It begins with mercy. The Buddha once said, "The tongue, like a sharp knife, can kill without drawing blood." And your inner voice has cut you more deeply than any external insult ever could. It does not merely comment on your life. It shapes your posture, your energy, and the silent beliefs you carry about yourself into each day. What most never learn is this: the critic exists only if you keep feeding it your attention. Like a shadow in a dark room, it appears real until you turn on the light. When you stop believing in it, it fades into nothingness. And what remains is not empty silence. What remains is stillness, awareness, and compassion. Try this tomorrow morning. Before reaching for your phone, before the world enters your quiet mind, place a gentle smile upon your face. Not a forced smile to perform happiness, but a soft smile of recognition, an inner nod that says, "I am allowed to be at ease today." Then whisper to yourself, "You are safe here." Let these words become your morning shield. They hold the power to dissolve judgment and awaken compassion. Your soul is never moved by shame. It awakens only through safety, trust, and kindness. Ask yourself with openness, what would my day feel like if my inner critic had no voice today? Would you move with more freedom? Would your shoulders drop their silent armor? Would your breath deepen and your thoughts soften into calm acceptance? Would you allow yourself space to try, to stumble, to learn, without punishment for imperfection? The inner critic thrives in speed, in rush, in unconscious thinking. It cannot survive within the slow, mindful spaces of compassion. The moment you choose to speak to yourself with mercy, the critic loses its place to grow. Remember, you do not need to argue with the critic. You do not need to fight or defeat it. You simply need to stop listening. You need to turn your attention to a higher voice, quieter perhaps, but infinitely more truthful. The voice that says, "You are trying, you are learning, you are allowed to begin again." This voice does not yell, it does not shame, but it always speaks the truth. And the truth is this: you are already enough. Let this become your new ritual at dawn. Wake with awareness. Greet yourself with grace. Do not wait until damage is done to begin repairing your mindset. Begin at the root, by refusing to plant seeds of self-harm at all. For when you silence the inner critic before it finds its voice, you create the space for your soul to rise and speak louder. Your inner world is shaped by the voices you choose to listen to. Choose mercy over mockery. Choose peace over pressure. And tomorrow morning, remind yourself with quiet conviction, you are safe here. Let your first voice be your kindest one, for it is this voice that will guide you home to yourself. Conclusion. Take a deep breath. Today you've been reminded of truths older than any worry you carry. That each morning is sacred, that your words shape reality, and that stillness is strength. You are not here merely to survive another day. You are here to awaken to the life hidden beneath routine and rush. So as you close this video, remember, Your morning sets the rhythm of your entire life. Choose your words like